Here we go. BLACKALL.
The finish of a difficult endeavor, like running a 100-kilometer race, always comes with a mixture of elation and exhaustion. The body is completely wrecked, but the spirit is enlivened and awakened. On one hand, you've never felt so dead. On the other, you've never felt so alive. Nothing quite compares. And this is what running an ultramarathon is all about.
And I'm observing how this is almost like a tribe. This is like a family. This is like people really caring for one another. Because as they're running through the landscape, some people lose their footing and they slip and they fall and they bark themselves, a bit of, skin abrasions. People actually stop and help them. So it's not about watching your watch all the time. It's about challenging yourself, but caring for those that are there with you. So this year, I believe, is 10 years of the BLACKALL 100 journey across country. So I would like to acknowledge that we are on Kabi land, and that the ancestors of this place are always here with us. 10 years ago this year, Brett and his team decided to see if they could have a ultramarathon. Everyone has their own challenge, which is run 100 kilometres through the BLACKALL Ranges. It's been created to embrace everyone who would like to go into that energy, to challenge themselves and to be part of Run Queensland family, which is what this journey is all about. This is really interesting because the BLACKALL Ranges is a very challenging area. There you've got Conadilla Falls, you've got very steep steps you've got to go up, and you go down and you go across the top, and so people are really challenging themselves, which can bring out many layers within layers within layers that are part of you pushing yourself into that space.
I was given a book called Ultramarathon Man, Diaries of an All-Night Runner.
by Dean Karnassus, and I thought, wow, people are doing these massive distances. And I just started to take up ultra running, and I got to run up in places like Mapleton, and I went to a race called Ultra Trail Australia in Katoomba, and I thought, wow, I wonder if we could do an event like this up here on the Sunshine Coast. And so that started the ball rolling. I was able to take up ultra running in around 2007. I was moved to the Glasshouse Mountains and run around the bush, and just started to find some ultramarathons around the Glasshouse Mountains area. The main reason that we started the event, or I started the event, was that I just love running. I've looked for deep reasons and stuff like that, but it's just, for me, when I put a pair of shoes on, I feel connected to country, to nature, and I guess it's a place of happiness for me, so it's just peaceful.
The BLACKALL started because my husband's passion was running, and we loved being outdoors and everything like that, and we had experienced other races, and the BLACKALL 100 started back in 2013. Yeah, like when Brett was talking about putting on this race, I'm like, yeah, we can do this, and that's how the seed was planted.
We had to talk to politicians and national parks, and it took us about 18 months to get this track together, and we had different names over the time, like Mapleton 100, and then we decided BLACKALL 100. In 2014 we were able to start this event with 179 runners, and then it's just stemmed from there. It's sort of grown every year, so which has been amazing.
We were told no, it's not going to happen, but there was just perseverance. Yeah, just this seed of like, this is really what we want to do, and when you really want to do something, doors open, and you just go and do it. Yeah, so that's how the BLACKALL was really a passion for running and for being out in nature, and yeah, just really loving the Sunshine Coast area and feeling like we could really contribute to the area.
Prepare for the BLACKALL 100 is a huge undertaking. The minute we finish an event, 2 weeks later we're back in, starting to work with national parks and vested parties to see how the event went, start planning for next year.
The preparation for a race it's changed over the 10 years, as you can imagine. Now being the 10 years, it's, we've got a fantastic team, and the preparation is a little different, but it feels a lot more grounded now, and there's like, we're all coming together for a purpose. It feels to me like now a synergy of people coming together for the same purpose, and creating this experience for this community.
Hey everyone, I'm Brett, this is Gav, part of the Run Queensland team. We thought we'd do a little Q&A night here at the running company. Running company being a sponsor of us now with Brad. Quick, come around Brad, run around, dodge all those people. So we're really grateful to have these guys on board. So if you're looking for any gear for the run, come and have a talk to Brad and the team here, and they'll sort you all out. For us, it's such a big span, and then all of a sudden in the last week or two, it comes to this massive, crescendo for us, and it's huge, like just this massive wave of energy that we're kind of all jump on, from, making sure tracks are marked.
Okay. Can't have anybody getting lost out there. Okay, so I'm just going to mark out the outbound for the 100k after they've been to checkpoint 2. And they'll be following along here. Hanging in the trees so they're nice and easy to see. And they've got the reflection on one side, so at night time it picks up really well on your headlamps. We normally put them on the side that we want people to be turning. So or wherever it's like here, there's only trees on the right hand side. But if we're coming up to a turn, we'll put the tags on the same side that the turn goes, so your eye is naturally drawn to that direction. It's all very scientific. So yeah, they're reused year after year. Save the environment.
The trophies are made, you know, their trophies even get handmade.
Originally, when we first started off, only the 100Kers used to get a bell, and the 50K used to get a medal. So I only ever got medals for the 50K, and then started doing bells for the 50 and the 100 when we introduced the 21, and the 21s used to get medals. Now we've got a 21, nice little tiny one, 50, and then the big dog, 100. There you go. So that's the short history of how the bell came to be. What's today? Day 5 of being on site. Gav and Brett came up on Sunday and started marking some trail. But before that, they probably, for about 4 or 5 weeks, basically after Rainbow Beach wraps up, we start bringing all our gear up here. We've got a house out the back that we use. Everything gets set up there, all the checkpoints and everything get set up on the trailers, etc. And then from the Sunday before race day, we start marking the course. So we're more or less done now. The only bits yet to do are like the places that have got a lot of public access during the week, and those will get done tomorrow morning. So places like Condolila Falls, where there's a lot of people walking around, like just to avoid any tampering with markers and stuff like that. Gav's currently out on course putting up all his signage and stuff. He's got that down to a fine art. None of us are allowed to do that because he knows exactly where they go. Brett's on his way here now. He's just had his final wrap-up meeting with National Parks, so hopefully he doesn't come back with any bad news. He sounded pretty happy when we spoke to him earlier, so it should all be good. Yeah, so we've just got all these little finishing touches to put on now, you know, getting all the place looking pretty and looking like an event. Once we finish doing this, teardrops will go up, and then we'll start getting all the rego stuff organised. The hall's just about done, and that's about it. Then we just go through a checklist after checklist to make sure everything's ready to roll. I was saying to Brett yesterday that we started hanging up these all the bunting and that, and it felt like it was just a continuation of last year. Like it didn't seem like it's been 12 months since we were doing it. It's crazy. But then I rang him this morning, like, oh, remember we did this and this and this last year? And he corrected me. It was actually 2 years ago that we did it, and it just felt like something we'd done last year. So like we're always changing our approach to things, always trying to refine bits and pieces to make it not only better for the event but easier for us as much as we can, which because obviously packing down is a big part of this, so we try and make it as easy as ourselves on Sunday morning.
So we're just heading out to Boogie.
Yeah.
Put the water tank out there. Event parking signs along Mapleton Falls as well.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
All right. So once we've got all these teardrops and everything together, we'll go down, just head down to the Oval, and we start setting up for tomorrow night for Welcome to Country. So Welcome to Country, or smoking ceremony, is followed by bib pickup. So, you know, race rego, everyone comes in, collects their bibs, everyone starts to get together on the Oval. Got some food trucks down there, everyone has a pizza or pasta or whatever's on the menu, and Uncle Al comes along and starts his smoking ceremony. He talks a bit about what's going on for the weekend, my favourite part of the whole weekend, just about, is welcome to country, because everyone starts to get together. Some people haven't seen each other for 12 months. It's the only time they actually ever get to catch up. So it just becomes it's just a real gathering where people talk about stories from last year. Maybe there's some new faces that hear stories from the veterans, I guess. Yeah, it's just a real cool, just such a good vibe. You can feel the nervous energy or excitement. Definitely a bit of anxiety around for people. Like it's a big deal. Like it's 100%. Like if you had to ask me what this is about, it's about the people for sure. Like as beautiful as the course is and as organised as it is, it's the people every year. Like I don't have without a shadow of doubt, they just keep turning up, and they've all got the same attitude, the same vibe. Like yeah, they make it. We could run this in circles around on the bitumen. Yeah. And if the same people turned up, it would be just as good, I reckon. Like it's just the way it is. So.
The growth from the first year to the second year, well, gosh, it's just, I can't even, it's so different. We were just novice at running a business and doing this.
Also this community of people that come together that last minute to make this all happen, so, making sure checkpoints are ready. There's just so many different things to make one day happen, and yeah, I think it's a joy to see everyone on the track that day and the culmination of all this work over the year, so it's pretty big, yeah.
Years ago, Brett went to America to run the Western States Ultramarathon, 160 kilometres. And so he met Dean Canazes. And Dean Canazes, there's no doubt about it, he's a freak, but he's a lovely guy too. And he knows he's very good, but he doesn't need to say that, he just does what he does. So when Brett was over there, he gave Dean a shirt that I had designed and said, "Oh, Dean, if you ever feel like coming to Australia, we've got this ultramarathon through the Blackall Ranges, here's the shirt." And he came.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Feeling very wobbly.
So one of the biggest moments for me, and it feels like a full circle moment, is when Dean Carnassus came out to, the guy that rode Ultramarathon Man, came out to our event.
Come back from the storm. Live at the track in Placer High School in Auburn, California. My name is Dylan Bowman, joined for the third year in a row by my friend and colleague Corinne Malcolm.
The Blackall 100 became a Western States qualifier, I think it was in 2018. And that kind of came about from my love of the Western States, which I learned about in Dean Carnassus' book, Ultramarathon Man. I started to pursue early on to become a qualifier. I knew what it was about. I wanted to run the event myself. So I just kept emailing these guys year in and year out, and they kept saying to me, "Come back to me when you've got 120 finishes in the 100K. So there was a little bit of criteria there. And so we just sort of pushed for it. And I think we became the second qualifier in Australia. And pretty much every year we've had someone from our event get drawn out of the barrel, which is one of those, when you look at probability of it happening, it's really low. So we call it the Lucky Blackall 100 for the Western States as well. So yeah, that meant a lot to me. I've got to run the Western States, and yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Because I was probably 3 or 4 years before they accepted our event, but it was big when it got accepted, huge. I was there at the race brief in California, and my wife said to me, Megan said, "Is that Dean up in the stands? And I said, yeah. And I grabbed my son and we ran outside and I got a photo with him and thanked him. I said, you know, for his book, because it wasn't just a running book. It was about changing your life and embracing who you are. So we got a photo with him and I shoved the BLACKALL 100 shirt in his bag. And then I was just sitting at home with Megan and I said, I'm going to email him and ask him to come out to the event. And he just sort of said, I've got a gap in my calendar. And next minute I'm like, okay. And so then this thing evolved, and then, you know, a week before the event, I'm picking this fella up that I read his book and he changed kind of a perception in life. Was a big moment. And here he is now at our race, and he got to run it in 2019. And I was just there thinking, wow, this is amazing. Like, I've got this guy, I've read his book, he's come halfway over the planet. And the really big thing, and this is what I really loved about him, I asked him, how does he get paid? Because he didn't ask for anything. He just came out here and ran. And he said, some of the bigger events would give him money and that. And I said, well, what are you doing here? And he said, I don't know. He said, but I got your email and just felt that I had to come. And I just thought, amazing, this guy is acting off his intuition and going to come to this event and share his time. And he was just so amazing with his time. He was unwell when he got here. But I was just like, yeah, that's one of the huge things for me with that event, to just sort of see how these people will just give their time and share their life with other people. And yeah, so that was one of those huge moments for me. So it was pretty wild, yeah.
Sometimes pre-race anxiety can trigger psychosomatic niggles. It's not unusual to feel a pain in your leg, tightness in your Achilles, or a cold coming on leading up to a big race. Having experienced this myself, sometimes the biggest challenge before a race is simply quieting the mind.
course. It's if you're doing the 50-kilometre course, it's predominantly trail, single track trail. A little bit of path at the beginning and the end, but trail for most of it. The 100k, we kind of pick up a bit of footpath at the beginning, which is interesting because we kind of get views over the Sunshine Coast. You get to see from the hinterland out to the coast, which is stunning as the sun's just risen. And then you first go into Condalilla Falls, which if we've had rain, it's just absolutely spectacular. It's beautiful anyway. It's like a rainforest. So you go from this kind of road down into rainforest, and then you do a nice climb out, and then back to QCCC, which is the hub of the event. You're at 22 Ks, and then off we trot, and we're out to the Jorella Loop, which is the famous part of the course that everyone dreads, because in the 100-kilometre it's about the 42k mark, and you get to climb the bluff, and that's about 8 Ks up, and it's pretty brutal. It's usually getting hammered by sun. In the 50k it's around the 18-kilometre mark, and yeah, so the famous bluff. And then it kind of got a little bit more famous because Gav, who's the other fella with us in the Blackall, he had it in Gav's Gutbuster, which made it a little bit more. And everyone thinks it's to do with making it harder. It's not. It was just to make the event flow better. Just made it a little bit harder. But it's stunning. And you're in the sclerophyll forest, rainforest, and then you come out to the checkpoint up the top. And this is where it all, all these people that are there just help these guys that really want to drop out. And then from there they head to checkpoint 6 and 4, which is our 64k mark. And that's where you start to head out onto what we call the Coolooban Loop. The 50k is head for home, back through the Mapleton Forest. We like to call it the fairy forest. It's got that kind of really nice energy in there. And then yeah, they head out to the dam, which is beautiful again. They've got nice views over Coolooban Dam, and you can kind of get a bit of a clip along. And we moved the course last year to make it flow a little bit better again. We're always looking to kind of improve it. So yeah, from there, from the 82k mark to the 92k mark, became this single track, kind of undulating up and down, but it's got a 4k climb up into the 92k mark, which I think broke a few people's hearts. But I think once you get to 92k, you've broken the back of it, you've got 8k to go, and you head through the forest and back home. So it's a course that's got a little bit of road, but it's a lot of single track trail across the Sunshine Coast Great Walks. So we're pretty lucky to be able to run on it actually. It's a great course.
So we're here with the winner of the Blackall 100, the 10th year anniversary. George, can you remember what time you did it in?
I did that in 9 hours 34.50. I was going for under 9 hours 35, so hopefully I did.
Are you aware that you've broke the record by about 28 minutes?
28, that's pretty good. I thought it was 20, but yeah, I went for it, so it was pretty good. Had a bit of a fright around 60k. The body started to go downhill a little bit and then picked up at 70k, and the energy came back and managed to finish pretty strong, which was nice, so yeah.
And what are maybe one or two of the highlights from this race today that you've just performed?
The highlights would be the scenery is pretty good. It had lots of little microclimates. It changed quite a bit, the bush, and just being on course with all the other runners, which was nice. A lot of people cheering me on and cheering each other on, and just, yeah, good atmosphere around here, which has been cool.
I'll start by saying this. If your race goes well, there should be nothing left for post-race celebration. My goal in every race is to give it everything I've got to reach the finish line, arriving totally spent and completely depleted of all energy. This is a commitment I make to myself at every race start, and I always do my best to honor that promise.
Rang the bell, so I'm happy. Yeah, and everyone's so friendly and bored.
It's her first time.
Yeah, first timer. Yeah, had a little vomit at the bluff and all that sort of stuff.
What did you have at the bluff?
A vomit. Yeah. So, but no, I just wanted to finish and get it done. So maybe next year come back and do it all again.
How's the feeling? Can you describe the feeling of completing it? Relief. Utter relief and exhaustion.
Aside from just the running, it's the family feeling and the being in nature and running in nature, and just the whole community spirit of this event is just mind-blowing to me. I love that.
The volunteers, the aid stations, the checkpoints, you can really tell that they care about the runners and they're there to support you. The atmosphere at the start this morning was just amazing, and to come through the finish line, and it's definitely lived up to it. It's been fantastic.
1 foot after the other. 1 foot after. And just don't turn back. Yeah, don't. Just get in the checkpoints, get what you need and get out. Yeah. And now that you've finished, what's your next plan? Rest and drink lots. Yeah. I worked all that. I think I lost everything out there.
Such an amazing feeling across the line. By the 22k mark, I was cramping really bad, like at a point where I wasn't thinking I was going to make the line. And then just had to power through the last 28k just with cramping, stopping every 2k to massage it out. And then I didn't think I was going to get here to the last checkpoint, which felt really, really good as soon as I got there, and then crossed the line, and here we are now. So yeah,
I've run before, so I know the toughness, but just seeing this bloke, he's had about 5 hours of cramping. Just the chance to be able to run with my son. I've been looking forward to this for some time. Like Uncle Al said last night, it's all about family. This event, it's just an amazing place for people to come together, the running community and family, and it's just the atmosphere is just absolutely second to none. It's just the best place to be.
But I've seen it from where it first began, and it's amazing to see how big the community has grown and how professional the race is now.
Do you think it's the family vibe that has caused this thing to grow organically?
Yeah, and the connection, and just how I think personal and intimate it is, especially with how Brett and Gavin run the event, and Simo, everyone, all the volunteers, Mum, everything, just adds to it. Yeah.
So you did 50 Ks. Do you know what your time was that you ran?
I think 9:40 or so. Didn't exactly check, but that's good for me. So yeah, I've done a couple of hundreds and about 4 of the 50, but I just turned 2 days ago 67, and I think that's it.
Oh look, it was just really tough, but really scenic. Lots of runners, really friendly, lots of good banter, and great fun.
So a couple of years ago, how I actually got into this is I did Brett's learn how to trail run. So I rocked up and did the, look, I'll teach you how to trail run. So I rocked up with road running shoes. Like I didn't even know what trail running shoes were. So borrowed Brett's trail running shoes and learned how to trail run and then didn't realise it was actually the BLACKALL Ranges. So I went from 14 kilometres to 100 kilometres and said, yeah, never doing it again. So now just do the 50, and I love the 50. It's awesome.
I'm a local first of all, so and this is my favourite place to run. So I run on the course every weekend for fun. It's my sanctuary every Sunday. I go in the bush for hours on end, and it's just it calms the mind. And if you run with a group of buddies, it's your social time as well. So I just love it out here, and this event as well really means a lot to me. It was my first ever running event and had a really tough experience the first time round, and I just really wanted to come back stronger, and yeah, that's pretty much after the first event ran almost every day for a whole year to train to come back stronger the next year, and when I did the 50k, and this year it was time to step up to the 100. So
I mean, it was a bit of fun, like 50Ks, so not as crazy as the 100 guys out there, but yeah, good. It's really beautiful, so I really enjoyed running and trying to keep my eyes up a couple times to catch the views. And yeah, it's just the community out there is really cool as well. Everyone's encouraging. Yeah, no, it's a really cool day. So
today just was a flawless day. Everybody at the checkpoints was so good. Water stations, they couldn't do enough for us. They helped us out so much. Everybody cheering for us, all the crowds. It was just really inspirational stuff. It's a great event.
The things that make the BLACKALL 100 really special for me are pretty simple. It's the community of people. We've got over we'd be pushing 200 volunteers that come and run checkpoints, make sure people are fed and had their water and moved on and just care for people. But it's the people that come back every year, the community of people that we see there. I mean, we all look forward to it. We're going to see people from around Australia that come to the event year in and year out. And then we also get the new people. But I think it's the love of the trail. Nearly everyone in our team still runs trails, so we've still got a passion for the trail as well. So I think it's the people and the people that organise everything to do with it, to be honest. So you can feel that energy when you turn up there,
It takes grunt, it takes perseverance, it takes commitment, it takes heart, it takes integrity. And yeah, I can see as we have evolved, so is the race. But it's also, it's a communal thing.
I think it's the connection to country. That's what I really think it is. It's like a fun weekend with a run involved for me. That's what it is. Yeah, it's pretty special.
To kind of realise our own potential, and now we have this iconic race on that people from all over Australia, from overseas, come to this race. For me, is something else is going on here. I feel like, and I can't speak for Brett, but I'm sure he feels the same, is like, and for Uncle Al, everyone that we've pulled into this, we're just the stewards. That's why I keep doing it. And just the stories and the connections and humans being together and being out in nature, being connected to Mother Earth. What fills my heart is actually seeing the people do what they do, and the families being involved, and yeah, just the great stories and the great community. And like, it is an iconic race.
The BLACKALL 100 has become a very special occasion, not only for those who want to put their name down, but everyone who's involved, and myself included. So to be able to say this to you and to acknowledge you all, and to be able to say, well done, it's just an absolute as good as it gets.
It's been one constant, and really I want to give credit to this to Brett, is like his passion for running, but also his passion for people. And he's always, like, because, you know, I'll get tired, it's a 24-hour race. He will not go to bed until that last person is across the line.
Yeah, so we're at, what, 10 to 1 on
10 to 1.
Sunday morning now, so the day after the night before or something. We've 77 runners still to come in.
Yeah.
He cares for people and he cares for what they're trying to achieve. He understands it.
Most about this event is just the atmosphere, just the amazing people that all come together from all walks of life, all over the country, come together in this place, and the atmosphere, just the encouraging atmosphere that everyone brings, and yeah, that's what I love most about it. It's just the people.
It's a great community. The people are awesome, race directors are awesome. They include everyone.
Every year I say I'm not going to come back, and I always do come back. So never say never. I would really like to volunteer and be on the other side.
Trying to help people out there that are struggling. You meet first timers who are doing 100k and they find a bit of tough times, but if you can share that with them, and got quite a few people to the finish line that were going to give in. So yeah, that's what it's about trail running is, and just the friendship and company and getting to that finish line.
I've been really enjoying coming here and watching everyone finish on the finish line, just playing some tunes. I live just over the road, so it's really nice to come here and connect with everyone and see everyone doing this every year. I get very excited once the runners start coming and practicing in the forest every year, and yeah, it's great.
My favourite thing about running here is just the community. We've met new people here, and to come back and see the same faces each year is really great.
But I'm just so excited to see how far Blackall's come since 2014.
I love coming up to Blackall because of the people, and especially the people I get to work with, making sure that all of the runners come through and have a fantastic experience at the checkpoints that we look after, and of course all of the spectators and crew that come through as well.
New people can expect people just making new friendships and enjoying the journey and getting to know lots of people from different places and really having that shared experience. I think everyone would just love it when they come along.
And that's what it's all about. If we didn't have those people there as volunteers, people helping out, it's all right to get out and just put on the shorts and socks and shoes and have a run, but without all these people there, we unfortunately wouldn't be able to have these events and be successful as they are, so they're one of the key factors as well.
Spencer, what's the best part about today? What is it?
Everything.
Everything? Are you going to run one day? How far are you going to run?
I think 1,000.
1,000? Wow. That's great.
I think it gives a lot of people the permission to try things that they never thought they could do. You know, it opens doors for people in ways that they never thought could possibly happen, and I've seen it so many times. You know, you see it all the time, what it does for people. What I'd like to say to everyone out there is thank you so much for the last 10 years. We've had a ball. You know, we're glad that you guys are here supporting the event, and we're glad that we can share it with you guys and you can share your lives with us. We really appreciate it, and you know, we just can't wait to see everyone every October. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Yeah.